It's nice to be back. Thank you for joining me. So if you are joining us for the first time, my name is Peace Amewowor. I'm the CEO and founder of Single with a Life and Married with a Life. So if you are joining us for the first time, please also follow us on our Single with a Life page. Okay, if you search for it, it will come up. Okay, you can also find out more information about us at www.singlewithalife.org. Married with a Life is new, so we don't have a website yet, but with time we will get there. Okay, so if you want to join the Single with a Life WhatsApp group, it's an international group, and before you join you have to pass orientation. The orientation is 8 working days, and then you have to take an online test. Once you pass the test, you can join us. Okay, we are currently doing a reshuffle, so if you're on the WhatsApp group, you already know that we are trying to change a few things around. Okay, so if you are joining us at around this time, it's actually best. It's actually good for you because you have to the new changes, you would just come into it instead of having to adapt and all of that. Okay, all right, so today we are continuing with episode 12 of the series, which has been running for a very long time now. I think it's been getting to 3 to 4 months. Okay, so one of the things we are doing on the Single with a Life page is also a series on the impact. So we're just sharing testimonies of some of the things, the breakthroughs that our singles have had in the vision whilst obeying instructions such as fasting and prayer and all of that. So some of the blessings they've received, I'm currently sharing them. If you want to hear more about the vision, some of the testimonies, we've got a lot of them on our website. If you click on the home page of the website, you will see a link. It says The Impact. If you click on that, it will take you to all our videos and text messages from singles, what they've learned, some of the blessings they've received so far. Okay, so this broadcast is mainly focused on those who are preparing to get married, and then those who are already married, young couples, and still settling into their marriage. If you follow from the beginning of the series till now, you realize that we've touched on a lot of things. I've been very real, and the reason is because when I was single, I heard so many things about marriage, and I didn't get examples of how to actually practice them. So I had a theory, but then it was now in the marriage that I'm beginning to practice them. And I think that as part of our preparation towards marriage, we need to get the right information and know how to apply them. Okay, and I'm teaching with my personal examples so that when you get there, you remember that, okay, this is how, she did hers, and you can copy some of the things to help you as well. Okay, so yeah, that's the main reason, to use my experience to help somebody who may need it. And I've actually had some positive feedback coming in. I've got friends who are following that I'm not even aware they are following. Some of them just got married and they are very happy with the series so far. So thank you all so much for watching. There's been a lot of views, especially the episode 2. Episode 2 has got a lot of information in there for singles. If you are planning for your wedding, and probably if you are waiting as well, you are very desperate, you need to watch that video. It will really help you. If you've got any questions, anything, if you are married, newly married, or about to get married, and maybe you are having some issues or you want some clarity on certain things, please get in touch with me. So that I can feature them into my broadcast and then share more light on it. And I promise you, I'm going to be very, very real, because I like to teach so that you actually understand and be able to apply it. One of the things that I used to hear when I was single was, oh, you have to compromise. As a married person, you have to compromise. I heard the word compromise, compromise, compromise so many times. And I thought I understood it, because they were not examples. They were not giving me examples until I got married. Oh, this is how you. That is my calling. That's the reason why I'm here. So we thank God. We thank God. We thank God. Today, episode 12, and I'm going to try and squeeze so many things in because of time. Okay, so it may be a longer broadcast, but it's worth it. So there are 3 things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about finances, prayer, and then sex. Okay, so the first one I'll talk about is finances, and then we go to prayer, and then we move to sex. And the reason is because I know some of you may feel very sleepy when it comes to the prayer, because most people don't like prayer, okay? And they need to be waking up, you see, and most people like to hear about sex. When you talk about sex, everybody's eyes, all their antennas are up. They want to hear. I don't know what it is, but they want to hear. So I'm leaving that to the end so that you stay awake and listen. Is that not a good strategy? Very, very good. Okay. Okay, so some of the things I'm going to talk about are not too new. I've mentioned some of them briefly on my other episodes. Okay, so if you want to really get the depth of them, then you have to follow the rest of the episodes. Okay, and then finances. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is to do with singles. Okay, so I've mentioned in the episode 5 that if you are not working, if you want to get married, you are planning for your wedding, you've met a guy, you've met a lady, you really love her, you think she's amazing, you've prayed, you are at peace, you are sure that this is the woman, this is the man God want you to marry. One of the things you've got to use as a checklist to know that you are really ready to get married is finances. Okay, if both of you are not working, it's a sign that you are not ready to get married. Okay, today the reason I'm actually touching on this is because I was watching a live broadcast on YouTube, and the pastor, there was a single guy who walked to the pastor, was crying and said they've just planned their wedding. The wedding is 2 weeks away, and the people that have promised to help him have disappointed him. His uncle says, I'll help you, blah, blah, blah. He's banked on people. He's banked the wedding on people, and they've disappointed him. The wedding is 2 weeks away. What should he do? A date. My internet is trying to mess up, but it will be stable in Jesus' name. Okay, so move the date. You don't have to, by fire, by force, do the wedding if you do not have the money. Okay, so if you are single, this is the time for you to start working on your finances. Okay, if both of you are not working, do not marry by banking on anybody. Even if parents want to supervise, sponsor you, your church want to marry you, your bishop, whatever, people have contributed money to marry you away because you are growing old. Don't marry until at least one person is working. And that one person, I suggested that it should be the male. That doesn't mean that the woman should not work. The woman should also work. And if it is the woman who is working and the man is not working, the woman, you've got to be extra careful. Make sure that this man is actively looking for a job. You can see that this person is a man of vision. They are serious with their life and they are out there looking for a job before you decide to go ahead with the wedding. Because if you don't take care, you get married and you'll be the breadwinner. You'll be the everything, the mother, the father, everything, and you don't want that. Okay, and I also said that if the income is just one, if it's just one person working, make sure that that income is enough to cater for both of you. Because if it is just 500 cedis you are receiving every month, and both of you, even you yourself, that 500 cedis or 500 pounds or 500 naira or whatever currency, it's not enough to take care of you. How are you going to manage when two people are now living together? Okay, so please do not marry if you are not working, if both of you are not working. And if one person is working, it should be the male, and that income should be enough to cater for 2 people. If you want more details on that, watch the episode 5, because I spoke in length about that. And then also, if you watch, those of you who followed the impact section on the Single with a Life page, the latest video I did was about one of our males who struggled to find a job for 3 years. Okay, I had to share the journey and all of that because I wanted the testimony to be appreciated. Because sometimes people have a testimony and everybody's happy, but they don't know the journey the person has gone through together. Okay, if you follow that message, that broadcast, you realize that losing your job is not as physical as you think. Okay, sometimes there could be a spiritual side to it that you need to deal with. Okay, so if both of you are not working, but you desperately are the place that you know that this is the time for you to get married, but you are pushing, nothing is happening, you've got to take it to God in prayer. You've got to go on a fast. Okay, one of the things that happened to me was that anytime I went to Ghana, some of you know this story because I shared it at one of the SWAL conferences, that anytime I went to Ghana to do my programs and I come back, there was always an issue that will cause me to lose my job. And I battled with that for almost 3 years as well. Where it is coming from. It's trying to be funny again. Okay, so one of the things that we did before we got married, because at that time we were trying to, we're planning, okay, maybe this is the time we want to get married, let's start planning and all of that. And to fight against that job issue, we had to go on a long fast. We went on a long fast. We were praying morning, afternoon, evening concerning that. And we did it over the phone. Okay, some of the Saturdays that we had the opportunity to meet together, we prayed together. But during the day, the weekdays, we prayed over the phone, and there was a breakthrough. Okay, so if you are planning your wedding and there are issues with job, go on a long fast. The 2 of you fast. You can do it and pray over the phone towards it. Whilst you are praying, also be applying for the job, and God will give you a breakthrough. Okay. Yeah, so that's my advice for the singles. And then now, if you're already married and then you are having financial issues, whether you enter the marriage with the financial issues or it happened during the financial issues, because sometimes, like I said, some people may not be working and they still decide to get married, and the situation becomes even harder. So you actually brought the problem from your singleness into your marriage. If you're already married, there is nothing more you can do than to work things out. Okay, if you are not married yet, you can postpone things and, shift the date, move the date and all of that. You don't have to by fire by force do it at the time that you have fixed. You can always change the date. But if you're already married, you will now have to work and make things happen. You've got to work it out. You just have to make it work. Okay, so the first thing to do is to find a job. Try and find a job. Both of you, try and find a job. If you cannot find a job, create one. I was on LinkedIn this week and I saw this Nigerian guy in a suit. He was carrying ice water bottles, selling. Suit, well-dressed, a graduate. There are no jobs, so he decided to create one. Okay, so create a job. Find something that you can do. There are some of the ladies who can plait hair. You are very good with plaiting hair. Start plaiting people's hair and collect money. The time for free work and, plaiting people's hair for free has passed. This is the time. If you're having financial difficulties, make a business out of it. Okay. There are some people who are very good with designing, maybe even designing posters for people. I have some of our Swalians like that. They are very good designing posters. Start charging people money. Even if it's me, that you do it for me. Say, Mrs. Amewowor, I'm going to charge you 20 cedis or 50 cedis or whatever to do this for you. Start charging people, because you need to start making ends meet from your skills. Okay, so create a job. If it's graphic designing, yeah. There's a lady who joined SWAL. When she joined SWAL, she was pregnant. She had just gone through a very serious relationship problem, okay, and she was disappointed. So when she came, she was very broken, and by the grace of God, we stood by her and, you know, encouraged her. I saw on her, she's giving birth now. She's fine. She's now in a more stable state and all of that. I recently saw on her Facebook timeline, she's posted pastries. And what she does is she's created a WhatsApp group. She's opened the WhatsApp group up, so you can click on the link and it brings you to the page, the WhatsApp group. And when you go on the WhatsApp group, she tells you this, there's a paid group. So she's opened a paid group whereby if you want to learn how to do the pastries, she will add you to the paid group, and you have to pay. I think it's 10 cedis per session. You pay. I'm even yet to pay for mine, because I followed her, and then because she knows me, because of our relationship, she just added me to the paid group like that. Even though I didn't say I wanted to join that one, I was just impressed, you know, seeing her trying to do something, and I joined. She's been teaching people how to make pastries and all of that. Okay, so if that is your gift, make use of it. One of our coordinators, she's in Nigeria. When she finished, most of you know her, the Swalians watching me, her name is Omolola. When she finished university, there was no job. She started learning how to bake, and her father said, did I take you to university to come and become a baker? Blah, 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 blah. And she said to her dad, you know what? I've heard of names, big names, people in Nigeria who have built mansions through cake baking, you know. And she said, I'm going to be one of those people. And today, if you go on Omolola's Facebook page, it's called Top Notch. Yeah, that's the name. So I'm making advertisement for her now. If you go on there, you will see how many pastries she's making and all of that. You know, she's making money out of it. So make money, you know, start making use of your gift. Don't just sit home and say there are no jobs. I understand the economic situation, especially in Africa, but you can do something. Don't be too shy to sell ice water or learn a new trade and all of that. Okay, so let's make good use of the skills that God has given us. And one of the things to do is also to pray for divine ideas. That's one of the things I'm praying for. Divine ideas that will help you to generate income. Ideas that will help you to create wealth. Because just a simple idea that God will drop into your spirit can change your story for good. We know about people, the owner of Facebook and all of that. It was an idea that came today. He's making billions out of it. Okay, so we pray. God, give me ideas that will change my story around. Okay, and the second part is spending wisely. When you are single, you are used to spending money anyhow you like. I mean, there's nobody monitoring your money. I didn't have anybody monitoring my money. I get paid. I paid for my bills, pay for other stuff. The rest of the money I spend it. However I spend it is nobody's business. Okay. But when you get married, you now have the responsibility of taking more control over your money, because you're not alone. There are two of you in the picture now, and you have to be accountable for how you use your money. If you're having financial difficulties in your marriage, you may not be able to save as much as you want, but you've got to learn how to live at least within your means. Okay. And to be able to live within your means you've got to spend wisely. Spend wisely. And I think that one of the advice I would give to couples is, I know so many people have issues with joint accounts, because they feel like, oh, why should I do a joint account? Immediately I do a joint account, I don't have control anymore. Why should he know my money, how much I'm receiving? Why should he know how much, that kind of thing? And we are hiding our money. It's amazing how people get married, they don't even know how much their husband earns, how much their wife earns. I don't know how people do that, but there are people like that. And if you're having financial difficulties, it will be difficult if you don't know how much money you've got as a home. Okay, how much household income you've got, because if you know how much your wife is receiving, how much your husband is receiving, you can draw a budget based on that and help you to see where can we cut. What are some of the things that we can remove out of our spendings to save money? Okay, because financial issues does not mean that you should stay there forever. You shouldn't be in financial issues for the rest of your life. There should be a way out. And one of the way out is to start learning how to spend wisely. Okay. Try and combine your money. Okay. Most people may not like it, but it helps. Couples who combine their money, they are able to do much quicker than those who hide their money and they are doing their own things. If you are doing your own thing, your husband is doing his own thing, your wife is doing her own thing, it is not going to be easy for you to have substantial amount of money. You may think that this is my money, so it's all coming into my pocket, so I'm fine. But as a home, and especially when your children start coming in, that division is not going to really help to be able to build on finances. Okay, so please do your best to combine your money. It will really, 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 really help. One of the advice that I had when I was single, because as I said many times, that I was one of the people in my age group, especially in my church, who married late. Okay, my husband and I, we married late as compared to some of the people in our church. And I attended a lot of hen night, hen parties and all of that. And I kept hearing advices. And one of the things that I heard was from a lady. She said that what they do as a couple, they've got a joint account, and then they've got their individual accounts, and they've got a savings account. Okay, so when the money comes, when they both get paid, their salary comes into one account, their joint account, and then they've got a joint savings account. So when the money comes into their joint account, their basic account or current account, they will now, based on their budget, they will remove how much they want to save and push it into their savings account. The rest of the money, they will pay all their bills, make sure there is food, water bills have been paid, electricity has been paid, rent has been paid, transportation, everything has been paid. Okay, they've got money, they've put money aside for all of that. The rest of the money left, if it is enough, if there is something left, yeah, they will share it among themselves. They'll push those money, they'll divide it, and then you take this, you take that. So they push it into their individual account. So in that case, you still have some kind of control. You can still go and take your money from your account and buy something without necessarily asking for your husband's permission or your wife's permission, because there will be some time that you want to buy something urgently. You don't have you can't even reach your husband, but you need to buy it. So if you do it that way, it helps because you still have some control, okay? And if in a particular month, there is no money, after you've done your savings, you've done everything else, there was nothing left, then nobody gets anything. Nobody gets anything to play with. And for me, I thought, wow, that is good, it's better, because you've got your basic things done, the most important things done. And if anything is left, you play with it. Okay, so if you have fears of joint accounts, that is one thing that you can do so that you can still have control. And trust me, if you've got a husband who is understanding or a wife who is understanding, a joint account will not cause any issues because they know that it's still your money. So you can still buy things without necessarily having to ask for their permission. I only would ask my husband for permission and say, oh, I want to buy this thing. If it is outside of our budget and it's something major, and I know that it's going to have an impact on our budget, then I will let him know I want to buy this. This is how much it is. And we discuss it. If he thinks it's way out of our budget, then I'm not going to buy it. If it is not, he will say okay. And the same way, if you also want to buy something and he thinks this is going to be too much, we'll discuss it. Okay, so joint account, both of you have control over it. It's not just the man having control or the woman having control over it. It's not easy because personally I have lived all my adult life, or most of my young adult life, controlling my money. Okay, and then I got married, and the money comes in and everything is moved. It's like, oh, is that all that is left in my account? And it's amazing. It's like I'm now learning so fast that it got to the point whereby no matter how much money is left in my account, most of the time I don't use it. I don't touch it, because it's like I've learned from my husband. Doesn't normally keep cash on him. He doesn't like carrying cash, because he feels like if I carry cash, it means that if I see something or I can easily use it. So he doesn't carry cash, and I've started learning that as well. I don't carry cash. So sometimes I'm watching the money is still in the account. Oh, this money has stayed. Unlike when I was single, it will go somehow. It will go. So it's a good practice when both of you have control over the money and are accountable, because trust me, there will always be one person in the marriage who is financially inclined, more financially inclined than the other. Okay, my husband is more financially conscious than I am. He is very economical. I'm not that type. At the beginning when we got married, I used to think, oh, he's so stingy. It's like, what a stingy guy. It's like, I just couldn't believe it. We will go and buy things. We've got our budget. We'll go to the shopping center, go and buy groceries. And what we want to buy, he would, for instance, there was a case that it just didn't leave me. It was an apple juice. Normally we don't buy fruit juice. So this particular time, we thought, let's buy some fruit juice. And I wanted apple juice, he wanted pineapple juice and that kind of thing. So we decided to check the prices. They had different ones. And there was one that was in the aisle long. You have to walk like how many minutes to go and get it. The difference with that apple juice and the one that we were currently standing before was just 10p. 10p, let me say, if you are in Ghana, it's like 10 pesos or 10 kobo, Nigeria. 10 pence, the difference. And my husband said he's going to pick that one that is 10 pence less. I was like, so you walked? And he went for like how many minutes? He wasn't coming. I was just standing there. I couldn't believe it. I said, because of 10p. 10p, you've gone for how many minutes just because of 10p? And the whole thing just didn't leave me. I said, wow, this guy is stingy. This guy is stingy. But, when I'm now maturing in the financial sense, and I'm beginning to understand that if you're an accountant or accountant or people who are financial advisors or those who work in the financial sector, every penny counts, every dot counts. So they are not going to run things up. I'm the kind who will just run it up. If it's, let's say 99.50, I'll run it up to 100. But no, they would put that difference, the P, the pence, they will put it there. So it was a really, interesting thing. I said, wow, this guy. But now I've come to the place whereby I'm now used to the whole thing. I'm beginning to see the sense in it, because every penny counts. Every penny counts. Don't think because you've got the money, let me use everything now. Let's eat. Every party, let's organize parties, especially when people get married. At the beginning, it's very easy because you are so happy. You've got your own home now. So you want to invite people to come in and eat and celebrate. And today these friends are coming. Tomorrow these friends are coming. That is all money, because when they come, you have to cook for them. You have to serve them. And you don't want to give them any nyama food, because you want them to have a good reputation about you, a good thought, and say, oh, she's living well, he's living well. So you go and spend so much money. You are wasting money. You don't have to throw parties for your friends and be inviting everybody in and out because you are married now and you want to show them your place. You don't have to do that. So if you are in financial difficulties, you've got to start spending wisely. And even if you are not in financial difficulties, you've got to still spend wisely, because every penny counts. most of the time when I come to do my broadcast, before I come, I will have a discussion with my husband about some of the topics to try and get his mind. And I think somewhere last week there was he was showing me some spreadsheet figures about pensions and how much you have to save at a certain age. So if you are 22, I think if you are 22 years or less than 22 years, you have to save, if I'm not wrong, if I still remember the correct figure, I think it's £78. You have to save every month towards your pension, so that by the time you are in your 60s, you would have accrued, I think, 1 million pounds or so. I'm not very sure about the figures, but and I saw the figures, the different ages and how much you have to pay, and I said, oh really, I never knew that. Okay, so whether you've got the money, you don't have the money, you still have to be money conscious. You still have to start cutting down on costs to make sure that you have enough money there to save towards your pension and towards your future, towards your children. Okay, most of the time, if you are the one who is very money conscious, you will be worried about the other person's spending behavior. You'll be very worried. It's like you will even be surprised. Why is she spending money anyhow? Sometimes you go to buy things and the price difference, what I want to pick, my husband is looking at the price of that and he's looking at the other thing. He said, are these things not the same? They are the same. Why is this too much and this is, let's pick this one. I said, but the quality. He said, I understand the quality. They are all the same. Sometimes they just put a price tag on it. Not that the quality is not the same. I know there are certain things that the quality is better and all of that. Quality is good. You have to look forward to quality, especially if you're going to buy clothing, things that you want to last. You have to think about the quality. Okay, but there are certain things. It's the same shoe. They just put different brand on it to take your money. So you've got to be wise and start saving. But most importantly, live within your means. Don't borrow money to live on, because what that does is it puts you in more debt. Okay, and in our generation, it's very easy to live on borrowed money because things can be hard and all of that. But if we all learn to live within our means, it will help to eliminate those things. And then make sure you have a monthly budget. Definitely have a monthly budget. We have a monthly budget on our food and other stuff. And one of the areas that you can easily cut down, cut down and save is food. Okay, so if you know how to budget on that, it's very good. We shop once in a month. And the reason, because our schedule is such that we don't want to be going to the shop every week. It takes time, it takes energy, because if you are carrying the things, and driving is better because you can carry everything put in the car. But can you imagine if you don't have a car? You have to be doing it and it's too much. Okay, so it saves energy, it saves time, it saves money. Okay, because if you are shopping every week, you're going to spend more than if you are shopping monthly. And we type out all the groceries that we want. If in a particular month we want different groceries, we change it around and all of that. Okay, and we try to live within our means. When I was single, there was I had a shop that I used to buy my groceries. Those of you in the UK know about Morrison's. Okay, and you know that Morrison's is very expensive. Their things are very expensive, and I used to shop there. Fruits, just fruit, I would spend like fruit and vegetables, I would spend like £30 a week. So one of my friends, they just got married. I think they were 2 years in their marriage. And at that time, I wasn't working and I was having financial difficulties. So she said to me, Peace, you have to follow me to this shop, because she used to shop at Aldi. And she said to me that they spend £40 on food, she and the husband. £40. And I was like, what? £40 is my fruit money. How do you do that? So she said to me, I think they were also having financial difficulties. They were trying to settle into their marriage, and they've just had a baby as well. So they were trying hard to make things work. By the grace of God, now things have so much improved for them. And she said we just had to make it work. So one day we went to the shop where they shop, and I said, okay, let me try this thing and see. And then we bought fruit. I bought fruit, the same amount of fruit that I would have bought at Morrison's. I bought the fruit, and when we went to the till, they calculated everything, and it was less than 10 pounds. I couldn't believe it. It's like my head was running around. I said, what? This is less than 10 pounds? I would have spent 30 pounds in Morrison's. You know, and the lady said, yeah, you've been wasting your money all these years. Oh my God. Anyway, so I decided to shop around because I shopped at Morrison's because that's all I knew. When I came to the country, that was where my family were shopping. So that was all that I knew. So she started telling me, you have to shop around, check other shops and see what is there. You know, so shop around, you never know. The same thing you are spending maybe 10 pounds on or 20 cedis on, you could get it at another place and it's cheaper. And then you are cutting down costs, okay? So try and work within a budget, okay? And I'm sure that some people, when they hear somebody spending 40 pounds on food, 2 people, they will be like, what? I was so shocked. We spend more than that. We spend more than that, way more than that. But our budget for food is, as compared to what people spend, some people spend 300 pounds on food, 400 pounds on food. We don't spend even 30% of that, okay? We spend very less on our food. So always have a budget and work within that budget. And then your portion size. Do you have to eat a whole bowl of food? And these things, somebody will hear and it's like, oh, but these things are minor. Your portion size determines how much you are going to spend by the end of the week or by the end of the month, okay? And one of the things is, if you eat a lot, if your portion size is very big, you're going to also put on weight. So it's not just you spending money, your body is also going to start testifying, okay? So cut down on how much food you are eating. In as much as you've got the food, you've got the money and all of that, you've got to start thinking about your health, what you eat, what time you eat, how much you are eating. Okay, so cut down on your portion size. Maybe the food, the whole bowl, that whole bowl, cut it into 2. You eat one today, some in the evening, you eat the other one. Okay, especially if you don't have money, if you're having financial difficulties, you've got to make it work. You've got to make it work. And if you are shopping every day in terms of food, every month you are buying new food, new shoes, new clothing. Do you really need new clothing every month? Do you really need new shoes every month? Do you really need to fix your hair every month? You don't need to. You know, and the problem is, most of the time when we get married at the beginning, we want to give a good impression about ourselves. We want people to feel that we are living well. So we pretend. It's like you want to wear certain things that people say, oh, they've just got married, they're looking so sweet. All those things are nice, but if you can't afford it, don't kill yourself. I do broadcast. You see my hair. If you've been following my broadcast, you can see how long I go back and check how long I keep my hair. I could have said, because I'll come on in the public, let me change my hair every week, so that every 2 weeks when I come on, I have to have a new hairstyle. I'm not pleasing anybody. I'm not living my life for anyone. So I'm free. When I feel my hair is ready, I will take it out. Okay? Don't be forced to think I need to wear new outfit every Sunday to church because I've just got married and people need to see that, you know, I'm doing well. And who cares? It's none of their business. They don't care about you. Whether you are happy, you are not happy, nobody really cares. So don't try to please people and you want to wear new shoes. Every day you want to be in the latest car, having the latest hairstyle. And, you know, it's all vanity, okay? It just makes your life difficult. If you can afford it comfortably without borrowing it from anywhere, fine. Fine. But as I said, you've also got to think about your future. Money has wings. Money can fly away. Tomorrow you can have money. Today you can have money. Tomorrow you wake up, something happens, that money is gone. So the fact that you've got plenty money now does not mean that every day you should change your hair. Every week you should change your hair because I've got money. Think about your future. Think about your children. Think about your pension ages. When you become when you are in your 60s and so forth, the government cannot take care of you. Okay, the work I do, sometimes people call and they are bombarding the government, and the government needs to pay my this, pay my that, do this, do that. And I'm like, you guys, you should wait and see. Very soon, for the government to even take care of you, you have to literally be bedridden, whereby you can't move anything. Because they're asking people to go back to work. Even if you're disabled, they're asking people to go back to work. So if you don't want to start saving and think about your future, you think the government are going to take care of you, very soon you need to be in a critical situation for them to help you. Okay, so let's not put responsibility on the government. The government is not doing this, is not doing that. When we start taking little steps ourselves, it will help us so that by the time we get to our old age, there'll be something for us to live on. Okay. Yeah. And then, what did I say here? Yeah, it is better to live in peace than to suffer peacefully. Because you can please the world, you can please people, and they see you, they think you are fine. But if you are struggling, there's no point of you to put on a face which is not real. Okay. I said, if you have the money now, save, invest the money. Do not squander the money on things that do not last, because money has wings, it can fly. Now, some people give towards family. Okay, most of the time what we do is, especially those of us in the UK or abroad, we will spend money to family, we send money to family back home and all of that. And some couples have dependents, they have people in the family that depend on them and all of that. It is good to give. If you've got the money, give. Okay, but ensure that you do not give and come out of and you are out of pocket. Okay, because if both of you are having financial issues, there's going to be pressure on you, on your relationship. Even your sexual life can be affected, because when you are stressed, you go to bed, you want to sleep, you don't even want anybody to touch you. Okay, so do not put yourself in a situation whereby you go and borrow money to give to a family member, and then it becomes an issue. There are so many people who have done that. They borrow money, they go to the bank, borrow money, say, I want to start a business with my in-law, want to start a business with my sisters, with my wife's brother, or whatever. They give the money, and then the business does not work because the person thought you've got plenty money. They didn't know that you went to borrow the money. And especially those in Africa, when you send them plenty money, they think the money is just on the trees. You go and then you start plugging and plugging and plugging. So immediately they get that £1,000 hit their account in Ghana. Zoom. Say, hey, my sister has money. My brother has money. They squander it. What they want to, you've even given them to do, they will not do. Because they think if they should call you tomorrow, another one is going to come. They didn't realize that you went and borrowed. And then it becomes an issue and you fall out of relationship. And the worst thing, that what you don't want is to fall out of relationship with your family or with your in-law because of money. And it can easily happen. Easily happen. So be careful. If you want to give when you can afford it. You know that I can give this and I'm not going to be out of pocket. I'm not going to be in trouble and all of that. If you can't give, explain to them, I'm very sorry, this month we can't give. Don't force yourself. Be free. Be yourself. Be a free couple. Be a single with a life, a married with a life. Be happy. Be a happy married couple. Okay? No pressure from anyone, because these things can break relationships. Personally, I do not lend money to people. Because of my past experience. If you ask me money, and I have the money, I'll give to you. I will give you with the intention that if you don't give it back to me, it's fine. So I'll give you what I can afford. And if you bring it back, praise the Lord. If you don't bring it back. And so I don't also give when I know that it's going to cause issues. If you come and you say, I need money, blah, blah, blah. I look at myself, I look at my pockets. We'll discuss it. My husband and I will discuss it. If we can give, we'll give. If we can't give, no pressure from anywhere. Okay. Only borrow money to help a family member or to help somebody if it is a matter of life and death. And I know some people may have issues with this, but that is the truth. Okay, if it's a matter of life and death, this thing, if I don't do it, this person is going to die, or this is the situation, then you can go the extra mile. But if it's just somebody just want to get money because they want to go and fix their head, they want to go somewhere, and because of that you are running around like a headless chicken to send money, don't do it. There was a friend that a lady from my church, my previous church. She's got friends in I won't mention the country. And what the lady does is, she said her friend will always call her and say, I want money, can you send me money for this? I need this, I need that. She will send her money, she will send the lady bags, new bags and all of that. So she thought that her friend was in need. She's in a desperate situation, she can't even afford to eat. She didn't know that the lady has married, they have a chemist shop, a pharmacy, they have a nice house. She didn't know. So when she went back home, she saw the lady. She said, is that how you are? The pressure you've been putting on me, running. And she's a student and she's working. She's putting pressure, running around. I'm sending you this and you are living well like this. You didn't even tell me. So sometimes we think that those back home they don't even have food to eat. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. And I'm not saying don't help anybody. Please don't quote me anywhere. I'm only saying that we need to be wise when we are giving. Be wise. Don't give to the extent that the two of you are now fighting in your marriage because you decided to give to this person and then something came up. And then now it becomes a problem. Sometimes they even insult you on top. I've had my experience. They insult you on top. So I give when I can give. If you ask me to borrow or lend you money, I lend you the money with the intention that if you don't give it to me, it's fine. We had a situation like that with one of our coordinators. We normally we don't contribute anything towards anybody in SWAL, unless it's a matter of life and death. And even that, I'm not under any pressure to do it. This lady has been with us for a very, very long time. She's one of our oldest coordinators, and her mother had an issue. Her leg was going to be amputated. They've raised so much money to the point that they couldn't raise money anymore, and the doctors needed the money seriously. So she spoke to the head coordinator and said, this is the situation. Can SWAL help me? Can you speak to Mrs. Amewowor and see if the coordinator, she knows that we will not go to the members to ask. So she said, can the coordinators help us and all of that? Help her they should borrow her money, lend her money. So when the head coordinator told me that, I said, I don't approve borrowing. If she wants us to help, we can speak to the coordinators, whoever can afford to help. It's not a pressure. If somebody can help, yes, they should help with the intention that they are not getting the money back. Because I don't want to stand and sign that these people are lending you money and then you've told them that in a month's time you're going to pay back, and in a month's time you are not able to pay, and then there's confusion in the leadership because of that. I said no. So let's all contribute with the intention that we are not getting it back. And that's what we did. They contributed what they can do. Those who couldn't give, didn't give. It wasn't forced. They raised what they can raise. My husband and I looked at the amount that we raised and said, okay, we can top it up with this. We topped it up. But it's not something we do. We do based on your commitment, your loyalty, your effectiveness in the leadership or in the group. It's not that you just joined us today and tomorrow you're asking for money, or you don't show up for anything. Whatever we ask for to be done, you don't do. And then tomorrow you wake up and you say you need help. We are not going to help. Okay, I'm not under any pressure to do that. I'm not at all. So we need to be very careful and sensitive when it comes to lending money, borrowing money from family, friends, and all of that, because it's very, very sensitive, especially when it's to do with your best friends, to do with somebody in your church, to do with somebody in your family. You love the person, and all of a sudden, because of money, you are fighting, and you can't see eye to eye. It is very, very not a nice thing. Okay, so all these things, we can avoid them when we start working on our finances, working on looking at our budget and living within our budget, cutting down on things that are not necessary. Okay, because your life is not about pleasing anybody. You have to be happy in yourself. Okay, so I'm going to move on to prayer because of time, because I can see that we are almost getting to 1 hour now.